This is a short movie to show you our file encryption demonstrators. We have two, one for client-side encryption and one for server-side encryption. Let's start with the client-side encryption. This is a very simple interface. You basically upload a file, it encrypts it, and then you can download and unencrypt it. So let's pick a file. Just going to pick a very simple text file so that you can see the content before and after. So here's a text file with some information about the Open University. So let's upload and encrypt that data. It's going to ask me for a password so that only I can unlock and lock this file. And there, very quick because it's a very small file. Now here I can download and unencrypt it, but here I can download it in its encrypted format. So let's do that. Now let's view that encrypted file. It's going to ask me how because it doesn't understand the file. Let's give it TextPad. And here we are. So that's what that text file looks like up on the IPFS server. Nobody can read it at all. Now let's download and unencrypt it. It's asking me for my password. I'm going to save the file. And then we can look at it in my downloads folder. And there's the text, laid out slightly differently than in the previewer, but basically the Open University text. So that's a simple client-side encryption. Now the problem with client-side encryption is that it's limited in the size of file that you can encrypt because it depends on the person's own computer. So next we looked at doing server-side encryption where you can upload and encrypt much bigger files. Now a prerequisite for server-side encryption is that you have a HTTPS. If you don't, then the data you're sending from the client to the server is unsecure. So we now are running this on a HTTPS, which means everything that we send from the client to the server will be encrypted. So it's safe to do the permanent encryption into IPFS on the server side. Let's have a look at the demo. It's a very similar interface to the previous one. First thing we have to do is select some files. I'm going to pick the same one that you've already seen. There's all the text. Asks me for my password. And there it is, whooshed up onto the server. And again, you can download it or you can view it. Now, this is not very exciting because that's a tiny file. So let's try something meaty. How about we try a movie file? Okay, so let's find a chunky-ish movie file to upload. Dance piece. So there we are, there's a little movie about a dance. Let me play you some. And so forth. Okay, so that's the file I'm going to pick. It's asking me for a password again. And there it is. Now it took a little bit longer because obviously that's quite a large file. So first of all, let's see if we can download it in its encrypted form. It's taking a little bit more time because of the size of the file. Okay, now if I try and play that file, Windows has no clue, so I'm just going to open it in TextPad again. There's not much else I can show you. It would look like gobbledygook anyway, but you just have to believe me that the file is up on IPFS now, completely gobbledygook. Windows doesn't know how to play it. It's not a movie file. But now we can download and unencrypt the file. It's asking me for my password again. It's slowly downloading the file. It takes a little bit of time again because it's a movie file. Now let's go and have a look at that in my downloads folder. And now you can see it's got the appropriate title. And if I double click it, Windows should know what to do with the file. Okay. So they're very small demos, they're very simple, but basically it's just showing our experiments with encrypting files and putting them into our IPFS so that even though they're in a public shared network, they're not viewable by anybody but the person who knows the password to unencrypt them. And we have tested it with extremely large movie files and it worked perfectly well. Thank you.